Ho, ho, ho. Who you calling a hoe? Hey guys, it's me, Read with Dr. B or Vanessa. So happy to have you guys here. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. First of all, I'm so excited to be co-hosting with Hannah for Team Candy Cane for the Reindeer Readathon this year. Please make sure that you go follow my co-host Hannah at the Paperback Bruncher, as well as all the other lovely co-hosts of the other teams. This is obviously like friendly competition, so be nice, have fun, and enjoy reading your books. Last year I was on Team Stalking and we actually won, but this year being on Team Candy Cane, we're gonna crush the other teams. So I wanted to go ahead and do like a little announcement video for the Reindeer Readathon and show you guys like my TBR for the Reindeer Readathon and just all the prompts and everything, kind of get us into like a little bit of a festive kind of mood. So if you see me looking over to the side, it's because I'm looking at the prompts online. The prompts are Dasher, 15 points. Read a book where the title must contain one of the first 5 words that you see in the word grid that's on page 4, and it must be a word from the list. It actually took me like 10 minutes to actually find 5 words. The alternative here is that you can use like a random number generator and put numbers 1 through 63 in and just draw 5 random numbers and then they correspond to certain numbers on the grid. But I didn't do that route. I just kind of looked and saw whatever the first 5 words were. So the first 5 words that I saw were blood, story, summer, game, and sister. So I have been dying to read this book, and you can kind of see it in the background, but I also have the paperback version. I cannot wait to read the Inheritance Games. So I think this is a great book to start in the month of December, and hopefully I'll get to the others in the series. I'm super duper excited to see what this book is all about, what all the hype is about. I've heard it's all about puzzles and stuff, and I absolutely love puzzles. So very excited to get to this one for Dasher. Okay, next up is Dancer, 15 points again, where you have to read a book with a title that has at least 5 words in it. So I just bought this book the other day, and it's the second in a series. I loved the first one. I gave the first one 4 stars, and I actually have an arc for the most recent one that's coming out in 2024. So we have Finlay Donovan Knocks 'Em Dead by El Casimano. So very excited to see what Finlay Donovan is up to next. I don't know the synopsis of very many of these books. I kind of know like a general like idea of what to expect, but for the most part, I like to go into my books blind. So I'm going to be reading this for Dancer. Then for Prancer, we have 10 points for read a book set in a place you have never been. Well, I don't know about you, but I have never existed or have ever been in a fantasy world. So Legendary, which is the second book in the Caraval series, is perfect for this prompt. I absolutely loved Caraval, gave it 5 stars. So I really can't wait to see what happens in Legendary, because also once I finish these books, this series, I can get to the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. So very excited to get to that. Next up we have Vixen, which is worth 20 points, and it's to read a book you have been putting off. Well, I know what this book is, but if you were around about this time last year, I wrapped up a bunch of books as like an Advent book calendar kind of thing, and I was unwrapping one every time that I finished a book. Sometimes I wouldn't read the book after opening it because I just had too many like overwhelming stuff on my TBR. But this year, I'm going to read this book because it's part of the Reindeer Readathon. You guys don't know what it is, but I did kind of take like a little sneak peek. As you can see, I kind of opened it. But this is the book I've been putting off, clearly, because I haven't unwrapped it since last year. Well, I partially unwrapped it. But I know this book is Love in Other Words. So I will finally be getting to Love in Other Words in here, which is very exciting because I've heard really good things about it. So I'm setting myself up for a really nice reading month and a really good end to 2023. Next up is Comet. Comet is worth 20 points, and it's to read a book that starts with the same letter as your star sign. So I'm a Pisces, and obviously Pisces starts with a P. So this is another book that I've been hearing really good things about. It's a sad book, unfortunately, but Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins. Very excited again to get to this one. I don't think there's a book here that I'm not excited to read. So I'm just over the moon excited to just read all of these books, and I don't know which one to pick first. So there's a twist at the end of my video. You got to keep watching to figure it out. Then we have Cupid, worth 15 points. Read a book that has multiple points of view. So I know it's kind of hard to find a book that is multiple points of view without opening it up. So this is actually one that was still wrapped up from last year that I happened to open because I was like, I have no idea what this is. Opened it and saw that there were multiple names, like at the top of the chapters. We have different perspectives of Mia and Paige. Don't know anything about this book, which is probably why I wrapped it up last year, because I was like, let me just read books that I don't know what they're about, and I'll get some that I might be really excited about, some that I'm like, no idea what I'm getting myself into. So we have The Bright Side of Going Dark by Kelly Harms. So if you know anything about this book, let me know, because I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. If it's a good time, it's a bad time, it's a DNF time. Don't know, but wish me luck. Then we have Donner, worth 15 points. Read a book with multiple animals on the cover. So this book I just ordered because I have heard nothing about it, but people always think about me when they think about corgis. So I ended up getting Christmas at Corgi Cove, and I'll put like a little picture up right here. But obviously there's two corgis on the cover, so I love corgis, I love Christmas. What a perfect combination for this month. So we're going with that. Next we have Blitzen, worth 20 points. Roll a dice or use a random number generator, so you're using numbers 1 through 6. The number you get multiplied by 100 is the minimum amount of pages the book needs to have. Guys, Reindeer Readathon did me dirty this year. I rolled a 6, but we like big books over here, and we cannot lie. And another book I've been dying to read, Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. Yes, please. So this book has just over 600 pages, and we are going to see what Johnny and Shannon are up to. I'm so excited to just like see where they are and like what they've been up to. They're so cute together. Like, I'm just gonna be so happy in December. Okay, then we have Rudolph, 20 points. Read a book that came out before you were born or a book that came out in 2023. So Hannah and I thought it would be very fun and exciting if we buddy read a book as a team. You don't have to, there's no obligation, but we're going to be reading Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. And this book just came out in 2023, so perfect for this prompt. For our bonus prompts, we have Christmas Star, which is worth 25 points. So that's to read a book over 500 pages. And these bonus prompts here you are going to use them in conjunction with the main prompts. So for example, Christmas Star, I'm going to be using with my Blitzen prompt, where I'm reading a book over 500 pages, and the random number generator that I rolled, I got a 6. So we have Keeping 13. Christmas Lights, 15 points, an ebook. So I frequently hybrid read. I read in multiple different formats. So what I'm planning to do is I'm going to likely be e-reading one of my books. So almost any of the books that I have can count as both an ebook and just like one of the regular prompts. So I'm just kind of attributing it to one of them, and the one that I picked is Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins. So I'll get 35 points total for reading this as an ebook and as my comment prompt. One of the next bonus prompts is Christmas Carols, 20 points, an audiobook. Again, any of them can really count as audiobooks because I frequently hybrid read. So the one that I'm just lumping it with is Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. I plan on listening to the audio of this as well as reading the book physically. There's 2 new prompts that are in the 2023 Reindeer Readathon. So we have Christmas Tree, which is worth 20 points. Branch out and read a book you wouldn't typically go for. So all of the books I'm really, really excited for on my TBR, but one of the ones that I probably wouldn't typically go for is actually Christmas at Corgi Cove. So even though I do like Christmas and I do like corgis, I generally don't buy books that kind of like don't have those like hot covers, like they have the TikTok covers and they look like the popular books. This is kind of like one of those old school looking books in my opinion. And so I naturally don't gravitate towards them, but I'm sure I'll have a good time. I hope it's a good book. So I'm gonna do that for Christmas Tree. And then lastly for Christmas Elf, it's worth 15 points. A book that has been on your shelf / TBR for a long time. Well, I mean, the Vixen prompt is perfect. So Love in Other Words, aka this wrapped up book, is going to be my Christmas Elf prompt. Once you've completed all of those prompts, you can then do the Slaying It bonus prompt, which is worth 50 points. So you can redo one of the prompts of your choice for extra points. I don't know what book I'm going to pick at this time. I would like to mood read this book. So we have an air of mystery here with what this book will be. Remember how earlier I said that I have a little twist to my Reindeer Readathon this year? Well, all of the books that I have, I'm actually going to wrap them up like this. So I don't know really what book I'm picking. Obviously, the only book I think I would really know that I'm getting is this one because it's a very big, chunky book. But for the most part, all of these books are relatively the same size. Obviously, there's some that are bigger, some that are smaller. I think what I'm going to do is maybe like wrap this one up again because I obviously will know what this is if I get it. But what I'll do is wrap them all up, do like a, put numbers on the side, and then do like a random number generator to just pick a random number 1 through 9. And then I will read that book and that prompt and submit my points. So I thought that would be a fun little twist to my Reindeer Readathon TBR, as well as kind of like my book advent last year. So if you made it this far, I'd love if you dropped what team that you're on. So whether you're on Team Candy Cane, Team Stocking, Nutcracker, Snowflake, or Mistletoe, drop your team below and I look forward to reading with you all. Thanks again for clicking on today's video and hanging out with me today. If you liked today's video, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and subscribe to my friends for the Reindeer Readathon. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!